Hello. Okay, I think it's working again now.
Yeah, of modern day. Ready. Of modern day. This is unbelievable, isn't it, for him?
Hello. I'm surprised you're not in there. North Walsham West consultation. Hello.
Discussion.
Yeah, I think there's some blankness about when the link road comes in at 450.
Yeah.
Did you get the message about and then
it's a lot very
I know, but I think everybody needs to know, don't they?
at least it takes account of the inspector's views. We will eventually get through to the industrial estate. Not in my lifetime.
Is it?
I'm just disappointed it's gone through Weaver's Way. But then it's either the Weaver's Way or Peasants' Revolt, really, isn't it?
I don't think it's touching the peasants' revolt.
No, because it's gone through Weaver's Way instead. The nice part of Weaver's Way as well. You know what I mean? That first part.
First part next to the field.
Off Station Road, you go through that way. It is.
I'm going to move up. It's very cosy.
They come out to get snacks.
It is. It's unseasonably mild at the minute. Not I'm complaining. No.
It's when it then messes around with the summer.
Yeah.
I really don't want to go through from a gardening point of view, just bring me when the summer we went through this year. I mean, we're actually watering winter plants to keep them going.
Yeah. I put the watering can round today. It's not a release and I realise it was wrong.
There's an email in from Brennan. He has. So I Oh, that power.
Right, welcome everyone to this meeting, full council meeting.
Hang on a minute, Paul, can you just move around a little bit so you can go back to the audience?
Just reminder to anyone who's not before, there is filming us tonight, but just so you're aware. Right, next on the board is apologies for that.
I've got Lucy, not Lucy, I've got Laura, sorry, Laura and just Laura.
Okay, good. Item 2, any declarations of interest on items on the agenda?
I would have sent myself when it comes to county matters.
And I've asked for North Walsham and Blue and I've signed the necessary.
Dispensation.
Assessment, okay. Thank you. Item 3, to approve the minutes of the last meeting, which was on the 25th of November.
I did mention to Jasmine that I wasn't going to be at that one.
Oh, right, okay.
I was afterwards, apologies, that's my fault.
That's right, I can do for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Any other comments on those minutes? Well, in that case, I'll propose that we accept those. If someone would like to second that.
Second it.
All in favour? Okay. Item 4, matters arising in Park.
Yeah, let me just bring through the clerk's report for you. Just to let you all know that all the staff are going on holiday from the 24th of December. The only person who will be in between the 24th of December and the 5th of January will be James, our head groundsman, who will just come and empty the bins. I think we all deserve a holiday. So the office will be closed completely. We will put something out on our website and our Facebook to say that we will be closed. And also Assertion 10. I don't know how many of you know about Assertion 10. The latest people who've been on their training courses will know about Assertion 10. But Assertion 10 has been done by the joint panel of JPEG, which is the Joint Panel Governance Board. And it's bringing up councils to be more transparent. So parish councils and town councils have to have one .gov email address. We are okay because we all have .gov email addresses. We have to have an IT policy, which we have, but I just got to make sure that it's compliant. Our website needs to be compliant, and so the things that I put down here, data protection has to be okay, digital presence is okay. The governance framework. So that's something that we have to get all in place by the end of the year with our external auditors.
What will be the calendar year or financial year?
And financial year.
And we are updating the website anyway, which will cover off.
Yeah, because our auditors need to try and look at that. And just let you know that the Community Bank and Hub, we've got a meeting with the Community Bank and Hub tomorrow to look for a temporary place until a permanent place is. I'm going to be working with. I've got the policeman. I've got the inspector, the sergeant beat manager is coming in to see me tomorrow, just to talk about events. And run through what we need to do. I'll be speaking to him about events and about events that are held by other communities in the marketplace. And I'll report back on that next time.
Okay. Any questions for Wendy on those?
And I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen our fantastic lights that we've got, our decorations that we've got with our £5,000 grant with reindeer. 185 K was bought by a business in this building. The other 3 in the marketplace were non-level ones.
I've seen quite a few people have doing their photos on it anyway.
Yeah.
Really popular, and the selfie board is really popular.
I think it's worth noting, so there has been a few queries on Facebook pages regarding lack of disabled access. You know, we can't do anything about it,
No.
because it's a historic building, there's no way up to it.
But we decided to put it there to keep it safe, because people have been seen to be on it. We were going to move it back, but it's quite heavy. Next time we might decide to put it somewhere different, because we'll use it again. But we
Just,
did
I
put
think
it-
that disabled access needs to be noted as it is quite a concern.
Yeah,
Thank you, Paul. Item 6 is mayor's announcements. I don't think I have anything to announce this time, you'd be pleased to know. So that takes us on to item 7, culture. We have one option tonight. Thank you. We have Paul, who's sitting over there. We had a discussion last week, and we were happy to recommend him to the council to be co-opted on. He will be our 4th Paul, which may confuse them as well. So I would like to propose that we accept Paul onto the council. If someone would like to second that. All in favour? Paul.
would you like to come and join me? Just have a phone call. Let's get round.
We've got the name badge before you start.
So this is a declaration of acceptance of office, which you need to sign and date. It's just. You know, I signed that now. Would you have a look at the agenda pack? I forgot to put the one. I can give you an agenda. So you'll need to come to a meeting. I'll have a meeting with you, Paul, just to go through what we do, how you.
Right, okay, we move on to item 8, which is the public participation bit. District from county. Do we need to do county first or? Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah, that's all right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Just some quick updates on county things and the local. So you have all heard, I'm sure, that the mayoral elections have been postponed from next May. So this is the Norfolk and Suffolk combined mayoral election from next May to May 2028. And therefore that means that it's probable that the county council elections will go ahead next May 26. I say probable because I think Suffolk MP asked the minister in Parliament as to whether that was going to happen, and the reply was yes, but possibly no. Or it was a yes with sort of a bit of a sort of a caveat for it could be a way out of those. So I think we'll probably have to know by the middle of January whether that is definitely going ahead. But you'll remember, of course, they were deferred from this May, so it would be a good thing. Next May. We had Lucy and I were I think what can only be described as a brutal county council meeting particularly the second half of it, last Tuesday. Suffice to say, there wasn't much Christmas cheer in the chamber, even though quite a number of members were there. I won't go into detail, but should you wish to, you can cheer yourselves up by watching it on YouTube. In fact, I wouldn't do that before Christmas, but it was, we were quite cross. quite vocal in our opposition. That is there and on record. More locally, I've had a few conversations with residents in and around Millfield Road about the possibility of revisiting extending the double yellow line back off the Norwich Road, which obviously was very successful when we had temporary restrictions. Junction was being sorted out. So, it did exactly what we thought it would do, and what we wanted it to do. I did try to get all that done, as you remember, 2 or 3 years ago, but the bid for funding was rejected as part of the Road Safety Community Fund. So I am prepared to go back to highways and have another conversation based upon the success of it over the temporary. I can't remember off the top of my head how much the cost was, but it was originally when I bid for it, and there's no extra funding around that. I could put some of my local member funds towards it. I don't think that would suffice, so it might be if highways bites, but I'll need to come back and see whether there was some contribution towards that. I think it would be a good thing. I think that difficult one for driven it, and we'll see how there is. So I'll let you know about that, but that's something to have to think about. And obviously, if you let me know if you come to a decision on your contribution on street improvement and some of those improvements down there to widen that as best as we can. I'll obviously go back to county and make as big a contribution as I can to that. That would be helpful because I'd like to get that programme in and the money allocated before the end of the financial year, which is not too far away. So I think that's it from me at the moment.
So can I just give you a bit of reassurance? The Finance Committee is recommending to full council tonight the sum of £10,000 is in the budget for next year for King's Arms Street.
Are you happy? I'll wait till that's passed tonight, and then you're happy for me to talk to highways.
I will ask the clerk to let you know.
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. That's all from me, Mr. Chairman. Is there anything else? Happy Christmas. I will wait for colleague, Councillor Squires. I'm in charge.
Goodness sake. So there's a number of improvements that have happened, such as the Grammar School Road and the Street Road pedestrian crossings have been re-whitened. I think they've worn out pretty quickly, so I'm not sure if they've changed the paint or if we've just seen more vehicle use. The sunken part of the road near Sainsbury's, just up Clacton Road, there was a temporary repair done on that. We're waiting for the investigation to see what the problem is. I'm hoping it's not going to be too disruptive over the Christmas period, but just by saying that, I know it's probably going to be quite uncomfortable for residents. They don't know what the problem is yet. I took the opportunity last week at the Overview Scrutiny Committee to raise some of the issues that we saw when we did our walk Wendy, where we saw some of the infrastructure finally in water was collapsing and sinking into the pavement across the Acorn estate. They've asked that I write to them and they are saying they will rectify it. It will be hugely disruptive if they do it all together. However, it's quite difficult for people to traverse the pavement because it's so difficult, especially if you've got a walking aid. So I'm really hopeful that there's a better solution. Across the town on both sides, we've got issues where the manhole covers and the roads around them are degrading rapidly even when they're repaired. I've got a really technical sheet from our highways engineer about something new they're testing, which can be put down constantly, cleaning sets pretty quickly and should be slightly more flexible. I will forward that on should you be interested. I'm not sure how quickly some of the repairs are going to be made. We've got particular on the road, and I know Cromer Road, we've got an issue, but that's waiting for a longer term, which will be disruptive to the flow of traffic. I'm hopeful that it will be done at a time where it's going to be less disruptive to people. However, it's under water, and we know that their consideration of traffic movements across the town are not particularly strong. I'm going to slip slightly into my district report, if that's okay. Some of the things that I always discuss overlap. Following an email today about planning application 52699, Wendy and I were discussing that earlier today, and after a little bit of poking around, there's two pieces of information that point to potential dominoes coming to the town. One of those is the firm Pegasus, which is used nationally by Domino's for their planning applications. And the second is a document that they had left the title in when it came up on the browser saying the Domino's project. So taking both of those pieces of evidence and looking at the plans, it looks quite likely that it's Domino's. Is going to be potentially where the old common bridal shop was, next to the road car park. The application is live for comments, so I'm just letting everybody know, because these things often slip under the radar. The information is not shared. I put it out on my social media page today, so let's see how far that goes, because I know some people are really happy it's coming, and some people will have concerns about what that means. So we need to start the conversation and get it out. I also had the pleasure of being invited to Millfield School. Friday last week, I was shown around, and the things that they're doing there are quite marvellous on the budgets that they've got. They have a huge ambition to support our young people, especially those with SEN, but with limited budgets. It's quite challenging. The team that's working with Millfield and the team that supports the high school, obviously we saw that the trust there really did invest well in receiving elevation of not only outcomes but the experience of that school, and they're hoping to do the same with families and children at Millfield. So there is quite a journey to go on, but they're very, very set, and that they've got a goal that they want to meet. So if you ever get the opportunity as town councillors to go and visit, I know the head would really welcome that conversation. They've got quite a large site when you have a look around it, and a lot of ground, and their ambition is quite noted. Aside from that, there isn't as much going on towards the end of the year, so I'll slip slightly into budget. Obviously this doesn't affect town council, but there will be the funding announcements tomorrow. Expected to receive from central government. I'm cautious because I would like to be optimistic, but I don't think that I understand virality and rural communities, but let's wait to see what arises tomorrow. But as soon as I know more, I will be able to hold it on.
Yeah, I'll just pick up on, go ahead.
No, up to you, sir.
I was going to pick up on a couple of planning matters that you may keep in mind in your later discussion tonight. The will be signed off, 99% certain it will be signed off tomorrow night for the council. Secondly, you're well aware what's happening with North Walsham West. I'm told that they're not expecting an imminent revised application regarding NW16. The roundabout has possibly posed a few problems. The other thing is, I just support what Lucy has said about a certain application on Mountain Road. It doesn't take much to look at it to realise what it's going to be. So please respond appropriately, remembering all the scooters and everything else that will be causing havoc.
We'll be discussing that tonight because
Although I would say that the planning application is for approval for a use class order, not for a specific operator. So we didn't bear that in mind as well.
Yeah, straightforward, sui generis application, like most of these takeaways.
Yeah. So it may or may not be. So
So rumour the wrong, what usually wrong with is a concern.
No, the question I had was, I'm not sure which of you is, geographically has the bypass on Norwich Road the £1 million worth of works that floods worse than it did before they did it?
So there's some complexity there, in that the side on the gas works has always flooded, and that's year on year, so that's not changed, unfortunately. I've got that documented, and every year I ask the same questions. I've been told that it gets cleared out twice a year. So the issue still remains, the stuff washing off the roads. I think we touched on this last meeting. It's all the surface debris that washes and creates a lovely cap, which sets beautifully and prevents water flooding. The other side of the road is new. That's not flooding that I have witnessed, and there's a number of issues there. The land profile next to that side of the road has changed with the works. So there's something that they need to do at highways to investigate, one, how we improve it, and why does the flooding continue on the opposite side of the road. So there's some investigative works to be done.
Is the argument that the side of the road that floods now has always flooded doesn't, forgive my phrase, hold water?
No, completely. So this is where we have a disjoint in the way that works are done.
Yeah.
So the improvement has created pedestrian safety until it rains on that side of the road.
And then you can't use it because you're ankle deep at the crossing.
Absolutely. And the ankle deep at the crossing has been there consistently. So when I first started documenting it, I had asked for the path to be put over the verge to run alongside the fence. The difficulty we have there is that that's not very accessible because of the gradient, unfortunately, because if we've got people who've got difficulty with mobility or scooters or whatever people use to get around, the gradient up the verge and over doesn't work, and especially coming the opposite way, it's not particularly safe. So,
but it could be graded in such a way that it would work.
Absolutely. I had the argument,
I
was told it was, they would improve drainage, because that would be the cheaper option. However, we can have improved drainage, but if we don't have consistent road sweeping, which clears all the debris off, then it doesn't matter how clear the drains are, because that's what's causing the issue. There is something that we need to do with the railway station, because a lot of the debris that washes down comes from the railway station. And if after the rain has been, you can see the tide lines of where everything comes
You've got a bigger problem there, which is the gully that runs along the side, along the front of the railway car park, is the conduit that takes all the water. If there was an actual gully there, a drain there that took that away, you'd solve some of the problem. The other thing is, if we knew the flooding was there, what is the county council engineer doing, designing something that puts the crossing in the flood zone? It's the equivalent of putting housing in the floodplain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the issue is now compounded, so there is no way that it can just be pushed on.
Yeah, so I'm not.
No, absolutely.
You know that this isn't aimed at.
I absolutely know. So this is 6 years of Dean saying the road's going to flood, the road's going to flood. Oh look, the road's flooded now. Clear the road. And it happens. So between the middle of October and the end of November, every single year, that piece of road will flood, and sometimes it takes them weeks to clear the debris. This time it was a matter of, within a week, but sometimes you have children who are covered in mud, and because they've had to go up the verge, they're not wet going to school, but instead are filthy. And that's not fair. That's not fair. So watch the space. Highways need to pull things like that, because the other side of the road, the whole point of that extra crossing point is to make it safer for children to get to the skate park.
Whereas what we've got is, again, an island.
A pond.
The island in the middle is an island because it's surrounded by water.
So we need to figure that out. I'm not sure where any of the other changes have impacted it. My concern is that the water table in that specific part of town is so high that it doesn't matter what we do, the water's not going to go anywhere. And that's something that I think highways need to look at.
If I can pop in there, Mr. Nicholas, there's been a long-standing problem with water on that road as long as I can remember. And there's photographs in the archives showing flooding under the railway bridge and under the bridge that used to exist where the junction now is, way back a century or more ago. So we really need to raise the question, what is the drainage taking there to take that water away? It clearly doesn't, and never has done. That will certainly need looking at. If there's an issue with the debris coming off the railway, if somebody could give me the details of that, the issue, I'll raise it through Britain Line, Community Rail Partnership, and to Community Rail Norfolk. Given the changes recently with GA now renationalised, supposedly they're closer in with Network Rail. I very much doubt it, but we can try. If it's raised through that, it will get through the Network Rail and put it somewhere in a project.
Okay, well, I'll speak with Lucy and get some information.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll just copy it up to the officers as well.
Okay.
I've got some happy news about some planting schemes around town. More positive, hopefully. So Eric and I, as members of Walsham Blue, have been working on various projects with support from Lucy and Wendy. Thank you very much. So firstly, in mid-January, we'll be planting 500 pounds of fragrant shrubs up Church Slope and on the bank there to create a fragrant walkway, which will be something you can do all year round. So it's the walk into the town centre. And hopefully they'll spend more time there. That scheme came from Norfolk County Council. And the local garden centre has this, and then secondly, we've also applied for grants under the Town Ambition Programme, funded by central government, by obviously the West District and County. Scheme which aims to encourage people to spend more time in town. So we were successfully getting a grant of £6,000, 75% of the cost of installing 5 large core steel planters which will last decades, and each of those will have a winter-flowering cherry tree in them, which are very cheerful things to see in the winter because they can flower between October and March. So hopefully a draw to bring people into town when it's pretty dreary and they might not want to. So the plants will be put at the near Market Cross at the bottom of Market Place. Somebody's blessing. I need to speak to Highways, so it's okay. And associated with that, we've also got some funding for some more herbaceous plants around the town. We can have a lovely range of colourful perennials. The remaining 25% of the funding will come from in-bloom funds of religion. And then finally, Business Line Partnership approached us and asked if we would plant 8 large planters which are going to be installed at the station, 5 on the southbound side and 3 on the northbound side. I think they're installing them in February. So we'll be planting up after that. The budget for the plants isn't huge, but and details yet to be finalised, but likely planting in March, and we'll probably have something like a big ornamental grass like a golden oats in the middle and some hopeful perennials around. And then when they die back, we'll be doing tidy up and planting spring vine bulbs, so in the spring, something of interest. Hopefully, year-round interest there, and will hopefully lift the station with the plants.
Just after that, I happened to bump into Kate and Eric this morning down on the slope, doing a wonderful job. It was noted that the surface of the slab is very slippery. I reported that up to cleansing, so hopefully they will come and do something about it. I also reported that Mel made, and I was talking to him later, that there's a lot of algae under the benches and so on, so I added that to the list.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna see if my community payback people will look at all that are coming in.
Anyway,
Right, you still got a special machine which will
And if they can do
scrub it as
not,
they go.
yes.
yeah, okay, thank you. Mal, did you have anything to add?
Well, on that, I have had a brief chat with Paul and with others about the algae issue on the slope there. It doesn't look very inviting to start with, and certainly looks rather dangerous. So I'm going to chase that up with Cam as well, just to find out whether we will, and hopefully this won't become a debacle like the special Hoover. Apparently it's here every Friday, but basically I think I've seen it twice in the last year and a half, maybe. I'll continue to chase that up, along with Lucy and others, challenging England Water about some of their claims continually that there's always water, there's always capacity, and there aren't any problems when there are horrendous problems continually, and they continue to deliver a corporate line that doesn't really say anything about what their plans are, which isn't very helpful. Following on from that, mobile connectivity is something that's been looked at district, so we're looking to find not spots where you can't actually dial 999 emergency. There's lots of data that was gathered by Streetwave, which is done off the back of the refuse trucks and such, and there's the mobile operator maps. They don't actually necessarily gel with each other very well, so there's a little bit of work to be done to find out whose map's accurate on what signal exists where. But there was a case raised where there's a defib in place and there's actually no mobile signal at all to call, and there is no landline next to it either. So that's something we'll be looking at as we move forward on that. As Lucy's highlighted, some of the roads appear to be showing their infrastructure at the surface level for us, which you can just see the shop repairs walking up and down the road every day. It's not hard to spot what's falling apart all the time. So I'm continuing to chase that along with the situation in the high street or the marketplace, where some remedial work has been done to reseat some of the bricks, but some of it's just not being looked at. Me and Lucy have tried continual times to get the street scene inspector to come out, but unfortunately that seems to be blank for some reason. Not too sure why. Good evening. Beyond that, well, yeah, and supporting residents at what for most people is a really positive time of year, but not always the best time for everybody. Helping to direct them their queries to the relevant places that they need. I think that's about it. And hold on, met with some partners in regards to the health outcomes for the Market Cross ward. I'm sad to say that we've entered into what's called Core 20 of levels of deprivation across the country nationally. It's not looking good for outcomes for people in the Market Cross ward. There's lots of information out there about it, the indices. It's worth looking at, and we need to try and see what that's really saying about outcomes for people. I've met with relevant colleagues about this to discuss some of these outcomes and some things that we might be able to look at. It's only really provisional work at this point. Too much feedback, I want to say, it doesn't really rate. Stalham and Chroma also have areas in the Core 20 as well. So we're not alone on that. It'd be good to see where any similarities exist between locations, the education vision and outcomes for people, especially health-wise. We did bring the ICB and walk them around to show them so that they could understand that he was present as well, and to understand some of the locations, because for them, a lot of it is just data on a slide that's fed back. They don't actually see the places, so it was good to be able to show them some of them, which I think was probably an eye-opener. We were going through that in the bulk of the work. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions for any councillors? Right, the police, any public, anything from you, Claire?
Of course. The slope that you talk about, is that the one outside by doors?
Yeah.
I witnessed somebody who was straight over today, so
seeing mirrors. Two, how many accidents met near misses with vehicles and pedestrians has there been on King Street to widen paths?
Top of the head, I couldn't give you that.
Did you find,
Yeah,
out? 'Cause
highways.
that's going to be very disruptive for the people that live down that road, and it's going to be hell to do.
I think that the main issue
No,
there
it's
is where we're seeing people push chairs in the
Yeah.
road, it's the pavement.
But people are more mindful down that road, which is why I'm asking, has there been any cause of misses or accidents to warrant it? Because if people are coming down that road and they see it, and there's been no accidents, then maybe that's the best option.
I mean, at the moment, the pavement isn't, but really it's statutory width in a lot of places along there, so we need to make sure that it does.
And then will you then look at Elsham Road? I mean, there's more than just one road, isn't there?
I mean, King's Arms Street is the thing we've got spec up at the moment, costed, so that's next on my list, and then we'll take each one.
So Elsham Road is actually one of the fund for Elsham Road Smart Works. So that is documented
Right.
in the transport, I've got the documents from, it is documented that there is one.
And thirdly,
So, Sammy, did you want to make a
Yeah, I just
comment
wanted
on
to interject on the safety of King's Arms. In my work, I work with people who are in wheelchairs, and trying to get down there is absolutely lethal, and we have nearly been hit on a number of occasions, and I've seen mums with buggies struggling as well. It is so dangerous, it's so frightening when you've got delivery vans and lorries parked, and you've got to get an electric wheelchair into the road and back again safely. I've literally had to stop the traffic.
that?
Just as a side to that, it is the main connection between the two doctors' surgeries to get into town, into the marketplace. It is dangerous, really dangerous down
I mean, when highways came out, they recognised all of that, that's why they put the scheme together, so they know that all of those things are.
Was there any other points?
yeah,
Sorry, Chair. One question I would have, obviously, on King's Arms Street is we've got to remember that if you widen the pavements, you've still got Arctics trucks going down there, buses, obviously wing mirrors, things like that.
So that's all obviously been looked at. And
Yeah.
there are, I think there's one pitch point on there that where the pavement can't be what it needs to be, or legally should be because of that.
But we've also got to bear in mind you to get delivery vehicles parking down King Street as well, which narrows it even further.
I mean, all of that was taken into account.
and I'll probably end up parking on
Claire.
anyway.
Yeah, that's what if you want me to send you, and I did do this, probably 3 years ago when we spec this up at
Right.
The Grammar School Road roundabout and the junction. I can send you the
If you don't mind.
report, which
It would be
goes
nice to
into-
see that.
Yeah.
I have got the feasibility report, so I'll send it round to all the councillors. I found it the other day.
That gives you all the
Thanks,
measurements
Wendy.
and the widths and everything else. So
Okay.
when-
Thank you. Thanks.
Is there any other points there?
Thirdly, I'm very aware with the council paying 9,000 to Norwich, sorry, Walsham and Green, 1,600 from the community shop. You just said 6,000 grant from somewhere else, plus a further few 500s, plus donations from the garden centre. I mean, we're looking at a lot of money on plants, considering we have volunteers to do all the work. Is that really the cost of plants nowadays?
The 6,000 is government funding. The idea of it is we're spending aimed at slightly down at here, I suppose, town centres and market towns, where they want to encourage residents and visitors to come into town, spend longer in town, visit more often. And so people are invited to apply for whatever they thought would best do that for their market town. We applied and it was unanimously agreed as a good scheme. That's
Well,
why
it is,
got
I just can't believe the
6,000.
cost. But I mean, look.
The money's there, we applied for it, if
20,000.
we haven't got it, another town.
Oh,
So I don't know how, what would make you happy there, but that's true.
I'm just questioning
Any other points, Claire?
No.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to finance then. Right. Thanks, all. Thanks. There's some point one to approve expenditure since the last meeting. The big item there, I think, is the one for the website.
Yes, we had to pay for sort of 80% for them to start doing their work. And that will go into miscellaneous until we get the money come back for that. So we have to pay for it, and then we got the grant from the TAP grant.
So we'll be able to reclaim that in this financial year.
Oh, yes.
I hope so, yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, we'll speak about the other figure there when I get to the cuts. When I get to number 10.
Okay. So we need to approve that. I'll propose that we accept this.
Just a query, as being a new transfer on, in the expenditure and what have you, I did notice that there's a difference like between budget and actual spend, two big overspends, trackside and Memorial Park.
We're not there at the moment, we're doing payments.
Shut up, yeah.
So in terms of the bills we're paying out this month.
All right, yeah.
Those we accept those if someone would like to. All in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you. Item 2 is the income since the last meeting, which is just to notice what we've received. There's no questions on that. 7.2 is to the bank reconciliation, which is just demonstrating all our money is the little balances. 7.3 is the summary of receipts and payments. Is that this year's one?
Yeah, that's up to
Yes.
today.
So is that the one that Sue's referring to?
No, he's talking about budget.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about budget
Yeah,
last
okay.
year. But I can explain these in the trackside is that when the work was done, there was always in the business plan that we would do a path through trackside, so that was what we called, that's what cost us a lot of money for the trackside.
Yeah, that was just being new on, that was the one figure.
It was in the
Okay,
business
yeah,
plan
that's all right.
for the last 4 years, and it was
Oh,
part of
that's
that.
good. Always challenge anything you don't.
Always challenge, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also the query about the Memorial Park as well, so the biggest spend in the Memorial Park.
What would that be for? I can't remember.
Yeah. Run across the Memorial Park.
That would be because the pavilion didn't have any insurance on it.
Oh,
And
right,
I had to put insurance on the pavilion. So that wasn't. So that comes under the War Memorial Park. But there is other things that I found for the Memorial Park, which I detail later when I've thought about.
Yeah. No, it's fine. After saying new on and looking at figures and go, oh, I wonder what that was. I wonder what that was. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so there was no insurance on poppies when I first came here. Weren't happy with that.
Right, so 7.4 is probably the main, the next two items, the main points. So Eric, did you want to speak on those, on the budget increase?
Yes, well, there's two separate things we have to do. First of all is we have to approve the budget, which is 9.4, isn't it?
7.4.
You've got
7.4.
Well, finance is 9. You got the wrong paragraphs down there when you.
At 7.4 to receive and agree the budget for 2026-2027. Oh, sorry, that should. Sorry, my numbers are wrong, but yeah.
All right, full point. Okay. Well, the finance committee at its meeting is recommending a balanced budget of £540,400 for the year 26-27. That budget is an increase from the previous year's budget of 65,000. What it means is that we are able as a town council to maintain our services as well as directly provide support to other organisations in the town. It also enables us to maintain the resources to deliver those services. There are no cuts. And in addition, there are funds being provided to improve amenities, to both in, so there's some new ones like street furniture, as well as play equipment, new projects. And we're also making a contribution to improve pedestrian access along King's Arm Street of £10,000. So that is the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Would you just want me to speak? So I've put, in the budget, I've put 9,000 down for new projects as an earmark fund, 7,000 for open spaces. So that is an amount that will go, we'll keep building that up as an earmark fund for when we have to take over the new assets, because obviously we have money in from Serco until 2019 if that goes ahead. Street furniture, and that would be mainly to replace all my concrete columns. So I need to get a build up because the concrete columns, after when you have a lifetime of so many years, and then they'll start falling over.
This is street lights, isn't it?
Street lights, yeah, street lights. Is that what it said? Not say street lights.
Columns, yeah.
Street columns.
I knew what
So
Know what I mean?
we need to build up a bit of a reserve to start replacing them eventually. I mean, like we had our street light survey done, and that said in there that there needs to be some replacements just to build up a reserve. And then we've still got 10,000 for the wires across the marketplace, which will finish this year. I haven't put any more into North Walsham Plate this year because they've got a balance now in their earmarks of £23,703 because we had the North Walsham Plate money come across. Yes.
So that's the recommendation.
That is a second one.
Council question.
Sure.
Apologies. Where have we accounted for insurance on the building now? The line item of 3,000 odd. Is it in with other insurances somewhere?
Yeah, it would
Because
be,
it's
yeah.
not in separately in.
No, it'd be under other insurances, but
Okay.
I might have to split that out because I've found something today that I need to look into.
Okay, that's fine.
A little bit, and I can't say too much at the moment until I've got the
Yeah,
evidence
that's fine.
together.
As long as it's accounted for, we spotted it as a
Yeah.
over item last time.
The budget also includes, under general equipment, I've put an extra 7,000 in there, and that's for a hire of a new digger and hire of a new vehicle. Or lease, yeah, hire lease of the new, the two new things, because we did say that we wanted to do it. I've put a couple of, I put into the budget some under admin new equipment for 2 new laptops, because now we've got our welfare unit. There's like an office space in there, so the head groundsman will probably need a laptop there, and I think we could do with a new one in the office. The old one is already on. And then in admin leases, I put some information in for Visit North Norfolk, because I'd like to become a member of not Visit North Norfolk. Some of the councillors are doing it as well, and they'll help us promote North Walsham, so I put some extra money in there. And then admin running costs would be at Explore North Walsham, which we did say that we would continue looking after the website when it's done, so I had to put some extra money into that budget.
Right, one more question. We talked about the concrete columns, which were for street lights. I'm struggling to see where that number is. Which heading is it under?
That's under earmark reserves. So I sent around the earmark reserves. This is a copy of the earmark reserves. So I put it into the budget. It comes out and then it goes into earmark reserves.
Under what heading?
Under here.
Yeah, on this one, under which of these headings? We've got 7 heading right numbers here for earmark reserves. North Walsham Play, open spaces, wires across the market, street furniture, vehicles, new projects, cemetery, King's Arms.
Is it under street furniture?
Street furniture.
And how many columns have we got?
140.
How many have we got to replace the concrete?
Yeah.
Question,
They're not all.
£7,000 enough?
Well, it's not
Well, it's
doing it all in
not,
one
but
go.
it'll be a little
It's
every
ongoing,
year, so it's
yeah.
ongoing, every year I'm gonna try and put
The
some
survey
money into it.
identified the ones that were
Yes, it did,
categorised as sort of more risky than others, and then they'll often, when you go through and put together a mitigation plan to go through and say what can be done, where they're actually costed, you know, and potentially what.
So at the moment, we have taken 2 streetlights down, there was one in the churchyard, one on Anchor Road, so they 30 will need replacing.
So just for budget setting, what I don't want is we set a budget and then we find we've got 12 that need replacing straight away. and
No,
that budget's
there
short.
wasn't that many, I mean, unfortunately,
It'd be an annual item, I expect.
yeah, it'll be every year it comes in.
Yep.
And we should have been doing that in the past.
Not all our columns are concrete.
I don't know the detail.
That's fine.
I don't know how many there are.
I'll
how
bring
many
the
are
report back to
substantive.
DNA.
Fine. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, can I just ask, I've never had a particular interest in light posts, but I just wondered, given the age of them and the way that they're degrading, do they contain asbestos as well as a cement mix?
They're non-based, they are purely a cement and pebble based piece like that. Yeah, there's no
Are they part of that rack system? No.
completely different construction.
Thank goodness they are completely different.
You should be aware as a new council, streetlights are incredibly complicated here. Some are county, some are district, some are ours. Some are housing associations.
Three owners. No more, because you've got housing associations as well.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing is ever easy.
Okay, so
That's been agreed.
we've got a proposal and second of that, just need to vote to
Yeah.
agree that. All happy? Thank you, and Eric, the precept.
Yes. Right, okay, move on to the precept. For the precept, which is what we require from the council taxpayers, the Finance Committee is recommending a precept of £463,600 this year. For a Band D taxpayer, that is amounts to £109.17p, or an increase of £7 per year, or 58p per month. This is the first increase that the Town Council has made on its precept in 6 years. Ultimately, there will come a point where we can no longer continue to maintain our existing services without increasing the precept. So what I'm proposing is that we agree a precept tonight of £463,600.
Any questions on that?
So how much cash do we have currently from previous years underspend on the precept?
Well, the other money's in reserves.
It's all in reserve, so we have, where was the bank book?
On there, isn't it?
Oh.
I think, if you look at the,
452,000.
yes,
We have to keep 120,000 in contingency funds.
Yeah.
And then we have, where's my reserves?
and then for the earmark reserves and the
143,000.
capital reserves, we've got to have money there. So if you go below in our bank account of about 260,000, then we actually we can't fund what's in our reserves, and we cannot and we don't have the required contingencies according to policy.
So just what I'm trying to get my head around is how many months worth over and above all of that do we have in hand? It sounds like
I can give you a clearer position probably towards the end of this financial year. But one of the things the Finance Committee is doing is that at each of its meetings, and the next one's in early January, is continually looking at forecasts of income and expenditure for the remainder of this financial year. Because it is, given the levels of expenditure we've had this year, which you'll be familiar with, it is something that I'm keeping a very close eye on.
Yeah. And also we've had to do some stuff for health and safety reasons. Being on DNA, we would have known that.
No, actually, no. What I'm sort of trying to boil it down to is if we have to have a certain amount of money in reserve. And it sounds as if we've probably got the same amount again, which is unspent and probably is unlikely to be spent until the end of the year.
Yeah.
How do we justify asking for more?
There will not be the money that's in the bank account by the end of March that there was in March 25.
I'm just trying to draw this out. For the
Yeah,
benefit
no,
of the
no,
room.
there is, given the levels of expenditure that we've had this year, we've had to dip into reserves, and there won't be the level in March 2026 that we had in March 2025.
And a rule of thumb is usually that staff costs of a town council is usually about 60–70% of precept.
Ours are 56, aren't they? Ours are 56 or something.
56.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and you know, we're lucky that we have the staff able to do a lot of the groundswork, and we don't have to get contractors in, and we have our own digger.
I'm not questioning
no.
recommendation. I'm trying to get underneath it. It's you've given me the answer to the exam question. I'd just like to know a little bit of working out, so that I can be comfortable that I'm agreeing the right number.
But no, we don't have the surplus by the end of this financial year that we did have at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, for reasons.
Of course, you've got the reserve, but we don't get paid any more money until next May.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Well, and the other thing is, of course, that we've considered is that with North Walsham being a growing town, that the amount of money we're taking in as the precept has been continually increasing. That's been one of the reasons that there hasn't been an increase, possibly in the past. But there are further expansions to the future, and we've been taking those into account in the forecasting that we've been doing just recently, along with also making an examination of the training that our personnel are having and improving their talent and ability. And of course, that also makes a very good job evaluation for our employees as well.
Yeah, you will have noticed I put the training budget up a little bit because.
That's very important. Yeah. So, happy to second that one as well. All in favour for? Thank you very much. Next item is agreeing recommendations from the finance committee. I suspect we probably have.
There was a grant, but the grant that we gave to Big Bash, that's delegated, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there is no further recommendation. Sorry, the finance committee has responsibility for small grants, and the authority to give those grants is delegated to the finance committee. Right.
And the last item there is the amendments to the financial regulations, which mainly relate to the approved contractors list.
Yeah. And the increase for delegated powers to the clerk.
Yeah.
But it does say in the financial regulations that if the clerk was to leave or the RFO was to leave, that they need to be reviewed again.
Yes.
So, and there's also something in the financial regulations I was reading tonight that I don't know. It was something to do with the charity account for the War Memorial Park, but we had a memorandum of understanding signed by that to say that all the War Memorial Park funds can stay within our finances. And we got recommended to do that by our external financial auditor, rather than the auditor. So I've just got to have a look at that bit, but I'll leave it as it is and get that looked at when our financial regs get reviewed
From
again.
the point of view of the minutes, do I need to just specifically just say what the three changes are?
You can do, yeah.
And these are the ones in red?
The ones in red.
Yeah.
So the first one is a little bit of tidying up, which is budget and precept 4.3. No later than November, we're also adding December each year, which is what we've done. The clerk RFO shall prepare a draft budget with estimates, etc. So that is the first one on para 4.3. The second one is that on paragraph 5.8, which deals with procurement, for contracts greater than £3,000, excluding VAT, the clerk RFO, that means the responsible finance officer, which is what Wendy had spoke, shall seek at least 3 fixed price quotes, unless on the approved suppliers list. If on this list, only 1 quote needs to be obtained up to the value of £10,000. We have a list of approved suppliers.
It's a pedantic thing, should that say from the approved list? It doesn't quite make sense, does it?
Right. And where the value is up to £3,000, excluding VAT, the clerk RFO shall have delegated authority to spend and seek to achieve value for money. So if it's for a contract that's less than £3,000, then the clerk has delegated authority. That's so that if we get small, £1,500 request for funding, sometimes in emergency situations, clerk's not having to grab hold of councillors all the time to actually get this money spent. But all expenditure is reported at each full council meeting with the spending. So if members have any queries about a particular item, it can be raised at that point.
And that's why I said that you need to review this if you have a different clerk.
Yeah.
That's when it
The
needs to be
delegation is a
reviewed.
personal thing.
Yes.
That's a question, Chair. A two-part question, actually. What are the criteria for getting on the approved supplier list? Criteria for getting the approved supplier list, and number 2, how regularly do we review that?
So there is another red mark on there that says that's reviewed every year.
Okay.
It's reviewed with finance every year, and the people on the approved supplier list are people that we've used for a long while. We do review it every so often. There are people now that want to give us a quote. They want to charge us £90 just to give us a quote, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's very, very hard to get quotes now. I struggle ever so much to get quotes. They are people who've done a lot of work for us. There are regular tree contractor does a lot of work other than trees for us, and we do go to groups. We do get quotes from both of them usually, but we use the ones from the previous.
Concern there would be complacency, since in the thing.
Yeah, no, we do review them.
So
Yeah.
do we have a schedule of rates that we expect? I mean, I guess what I'm aiming at is here, how do we ensure that those people are still offering us value for money?
Yeah.
To be fair, we did go through it at the last finance meeting from A to Z of that approved list, but exactly the anxieties that you are referring to. And looking at those, I mean, I have to bow to other people with much more experience, but looking particularly at those that have been on the approved list for a long time, was to make sure that they were still reputable, just not that they've been there for a long time. And we spent some considerable time and sort of did a cross checks and balances with them and came to the conclusion that we were comfortable with them, didn't we?
And also, like for our contracts, for our street light contract, that'll be coming up for renewal next year. So we have a 3-year contract in with them, so I will come and get 3 quotes. And the CCTV people, that's coming up for renewal next year, and our auditor has to be reviewed every 3 years with regards to new different people. So
not arguing anything's right or wrong.
No,
yes, definitely, you are correct. We do try and use local plumbers and
I
local.
wholeheartedly support that. It's just sometimes complacency brings to
Oh, definitely, definitely.
I may say, I mean, from a purchasing background I've come from for many years, I mean, one of the things I always used to do, yes, we used to have approved suppliers, but we always used to have review meetings. At least every 6 months, every year with them, so you can actually, verify one, what they're offering is competitive, Secondly, are they doing the job to our satisfaction?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
there's something, I think, as Paul says, you know, that's something we do need to.
Yeah, yeah.
I suppose if you just put it up for tender, you could just be inviting any amount of trouble
Oh,
in,
yes.
so it's worth having.
We have to, there's a certain amount where we do. Of course, beaten on this.
So just pause the meeting. Okay.
Helen, your moment of glory, step on.
So did, we're pausing you.
I was checking the ball, but actually, came coughing out of there, it was a bit repetitive, you can't get drink of water.
So what we need to know, Wendy, is that since it should be under £1,500 for next year, do all us town councillors manage to get £100 allowance for buying ice creams next year then, please?
I don't know whether you want to change that because it says,
Wouldn't buy that many now.
No, it won't, that's right.
it says to review the approved supplies list every year. I don't know if you want to change that to every 6 months. Or every quarter.
I think 6 months might be a little onerous.
That's quite ambitious, isn't it? You could do sampling, couldn't you? Just a bit of sampling throughout the year.
Because we put everybody on there, we've
Yes,
got everybody that
yeah.
we use, like our photocopier, Amazon we've got on there because we do use Amazon quite a bit for events.
Yeah,
stuff.
plumbers, everybody, I think
Yeah.
just,
We highlighted that some of them were used much more regularly than others, and that there was an emphasis on those that were irregularly using to be checked. In all fairness,
yeah,
more
Yeah,
and I
than
think as
check
Roger
that
said,
out.
if we put,
the ad hoc
if,
one.
if we just pick them odd ones out through the year and just do comparisons rather than.
Okay.
Yes,
As you can report on the number of.
where a contract's coming in, we will obviously not seek to renew immediately if there are on this. We will do.
Well, if there's a 3-year contract, then I will obviously have to go and get 3 quotes out because it's a 3-year contract.
We'll be clear on that.
Yeah, so, I don't know whether that's happened in the past. I think we've just kept going with the same old suppliers.
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we do need, so I will go out to tender for those 3 months, for instance, and I'll redact all the information so you don't know who we are.
Just on that one.
If it was a big project, we'd have to go out to tender anyway.
So if the suppliers list, if it's just approved suppliers, they are not under contract, it's a rolling annual.
Yeah, yeah, they're only annual people, if it's contract, then it'll be on.
Right, come on, I've read them out, can I move them then?
I'm in a second. All in favour? Thank you. We can take it working with them. Anyway, correspondence. We have some correspondence this month. Right, decisions.
The only other thing would be, I said about the heating at Poppies, they didn't have any heating, so we had to spend some. And the reason why is because they got an air source pump heating and they should have had an annual service contract in there. It wasn't put in place, so we've got one in place now with the people who installed it, but I will review that every other year as well. So I've put it in for a year.
Not been in very long, has it? Okay, so that takes us to planning applications.
Is it this point?
Okay. So the first one is 9 and 7B Munson Road, which is partial change of use from the hairdressing salon to residential. Obviously, it was disappointing to see commercial properties going to residential. Not sure there's any planning reason we can put behind that, but any comments from councillors on that one?
The shops in there, it's on the fringe, isn't it, of the shopping area? It's always going to be challenging for them there.
Chair.
National trend.
I was going to say national trend, and also we have to remember in the past, town centres had as much residential as they did commercial. You know, it's only been in recent commercial years, since the Second World War, that town centres have grown up and there's been less residential within them.
Well, I think that's quite true for Muncie Road and so on. We've always had shops at ground level, residential above, certainly, but it's been, we've had a steady reduction in.
It just happened.
But it's a national trend, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, there is already, there seems to be a quite thriving hairdressing or beauty salon there, so I'm not sure. Anyway,
I move no objection, Chair.
yeah, I don't think there's any planning grounds we can object to. The second one is.
Should approve that one, sorry.
Yeah. Do you need a vote on that?
Agree, yes, because you agree, and so yeah.
Opposed it, I'll second it.
The second one is Little London Road for self-build. It's sort of an infill between two other properties.
And then reconsulting.
Oh, right, that's true, yes. So we've had previously commented on that, presumably, then, haven't we? So,
Yeah, originally the house in question had been up for sale. I've seen it sold and new people want to put out in the garden.
yes, probably.
And also the fact that that's opposite Little London Road where the big development is going to go. So people can sort of turn that one down now and maybe build 300 houses across the road.
But the highways, because Little London Lane being what it is, highways might be an issue about access. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think of. I don't.
It's the only thing I could think of was access. Yeah.
I just think that just make no objection or no comment.
No comment.
No comment, I think it's better.
I'll second that one then. And, all happy with that. Third one, Acorn Road, demolition of the conservatory and erection of a single-storey extension. Any obstruction?
No objection.
All in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then this is the last one, this is the one that we
Yes.
need today.
So this is the fast food conversion of the shop. The main issue I can see with that is potential noise and disruption from Julia. Noise and disruption from shoppers and delivery vehicles, which presumably will be in the car park. It's obviously surrounded by residential properties.
Where exactly is this?
This is what was the Maisie Mays wedding.
Oh, right. Yeah.
On the
You have an example where it is, yeah.
There is a noise report in the document, which I tend to understand, but I'm sure proves it works. And that would be the issue that I would want to raise.
The only thing you could argue, or they could put forward, is you've got all from the corner there, fast food, catering bits, across the road, Wilco's there, so that hub area there has got quite a bit of commercial and catering facility there for that. Would another truck coming through there make a difference versus on the traffic going through there? Look at the heavy commercial vehicles that go through there. You know, it will be quite a tough one to argue that the impact would be high in noise. And if, like all these places, they have a delivery schedule, a time frame outside of after 8 o'clock or whatever with it.
Parking as well. I know, but you know,
Lucy?
Mumsy Road car park is noted by them as car parking. I've not been approached as a portfolio holder about them using the car park licence or unlicensed of the residents. So that's something that hasn't been discussed. It's just part of it.
As far as parking goes, so long as the users are paying their ticket, they're free to use it, aren't they?
That's what I was getting at. Are they going to people going to
Well,
use pay for parking?
I think we just need to carefully phrase this a bit, don't we?
Yes.
I think you need to say that town council would expect that any planning application that comes before the council has adequate safeguards over noise and opening hours. There will be some there for other bits, and has adequate arrangements for parking and including delivery vehicles.
So, safeguard noise, and what was the other bit, sorry?
And has adequate arrangements in place for parking for customers and delivering vehicles.
You can argue the majority of the
Open
current
hours is
ones don't
11
have.
to 11.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine the existing Pizza Hut there and the Bones have some constraints on opening hours. I don't know.
A lot of their delivery drivers use that car park anyway. They come in.
There is a delivery around the back, usually. You get around the back to the chocolate place as a rear access, so that would be the same one.
And I think if people are happy, that's the angle, and then we'll have to, it's probably something, Bob, that as it develops, we might have to come back. We might need to have another look at this at some point, but let's see what happens.
Yes.
So are we supporting, objection?
No, I just think we make the comment.
There's no objection or comment. So you can either support it, has no objection or comment, or objects to the application.
Well, we just comment then.
No,
There is
we're not
no,
allowed
there is
We
an
can't
option
do
for that.
that, Eric,
But would say yes, no.
or make no comment at all.
I think we'd have to say support the application subject to.
Subject, yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Satisfactory agreement or. You're okay with that? Yeah. I'll propose that then, if someone would like to second that. All in favour? Thank you. Item 12 is items for next agenda.
Can I put some stuff on that? Yeah. So our business plan comes out of expiry at the end of end of this year. We've had it for 4 years.
Yeah.
December 25 is the last year, so I'll be looking at doing a new business plan with the help of D&A and finance. We're also doing, I can't remember that part of the staff and committee negotiations was to have a public consultation. We were meant to do it in the summer and things didn't happen, so we could do it in the autumn, it didn't happen, so we are actually looking to do that January, February this year. And I've written to, just to let you know, I've written to district, and we're in the process of taking all the bins, the benches, the planters, and the electric points, which aren't ours anyway, we just pay for electricity, all in the marketplace. And I've got to find a solicitor. So I'll be looking at getting a solicitor. So when we take over our
I'll
assets.
see if we can personally.
So we've got to look for a solicitor. I don't want to use NP law because district can use an NP law. to take over
So
the
at the
assets.
moment, there is, the indication is that the street furniture in Marketplace, the district council are happy
Yeah,
for
they are happy.
that to be transferred to us.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Might be maintained.
And the only other thing I needed to mention, and I don't know where we can approve it or whether I have to wait till next meeting, that Roger wants to come off finance and be replaced by Laura Eastwick. So I think that probably have to be agreed at a meeting, or I don't know.
Probably.
It's just to spread the load of the subcommittees,
Yeah,
that we all
yeah.
get a fair sort of
Yeah.
split, and then there's an equal representation, rather than just the same people on the same committees making decisions. Not that I have any objection to doing it, it's just to be.
Well, people are appointed to the committees at a meeting, so the changes should continue.
So I'll put that in, which I know is
Be more established from that. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else there, then you can see the dates of the next meetings at the bottom of the page there. Finance on the 6th of January being the next one. And D&A on the 20th of January, and full council 27th of January. There's nothing else, close the meeting. Thank you very much.
I brought some mince pies.
The operation.
Perhaps you'd like to,
What I need to know is the chair already speak like that way.
No, I can't have special checks.
pass them along, Eric.
Your register of interests didn't go through,
Yeah,
so I need to get that done.
I'll come tomorrow morning if you're free, 'cause I've got
Oh, can you come in behind, because I've seen the police officer sign, and then I'll see.
yeah, I've got our face, just I'll come speak by you.
And then I've got to school.
Leave them two up. Now the camera's in better. There we go, look. The unicorn. The unicorn. Right. Hope you enjoyed that. Catch you later.